Hey, what's up guys, I'm EvanBear1, and I have a very exciting video for you guys today. So we're checking out something called Miner's Haven Time Machine. And as a lot of you guys know, Miner's Haven's a very popular game on Roblox. I've been playing it for a long time. Lots of people have been playing it for almost 5 years. The 5-year anniversary is actually coming up next month. And it's a pretty big deal. Now, the game has changed a lot since it first came out. A lot of the newer players don't really understand what the older players know and had to go through. For example, myself, I rebirthed 13,000 times, which to some of the newer players, you're like, okay, that's an okay amount. But back then, there was not layout saving. Back then, there was not life skipping. There were not a lot of the reborns we have now in Miner's Haven. And it was a lot harder to rebirth back then than it is now. Also, additionally, there were a lot of glitches back then as well, such as reborn glitches and other things. So what Miner's Haven Time Machine allows you to do is it actually allows you to go back in all of the updates that have ever happened to Miner's Haven, check out the old maps, check out what the game used to look like, everything. Inside of Miner's Haven Time Machine, there are 3 different little things here you can choose. There's play old Miner's Haven versions, which is what we're going to be doing. There's view the index of old items, so you can just see if items have changed over the years, what they did then compared to did now. And then also the play the new time-lapse game. So I actually don't know what that is, but I might check that out for another video because it does sound very interesting. For now though, we're going to check out play old Miner's Haven version. So it pops up with all of these different things. There's hipster mode, which some of the very old players, you guys know exactly what hipster mode is. There's classic, which is like day 1 release, summer updates, overnight updates, all this different stuff. And it goes for every single year. There are all of these updates for Miner's Haven. So first I want to jump into classic and show you guys what the initial release of Miner's Haven actually looked like. So here's the loading screen, and we'll turn on the music here as well. Everything's exactly the same in this. The music is the same. This loading bar is the same. It's so crazy seeing this again because I played this. I was a day 1 player. I was playing this right when the game came out. And this was Miner's Haven back then. So this was the UI. Let's just press got it, and let's jump in here. And yeah, there's this cool animation that like brings your camera down. I mean, it's just crazy seeing this again, like what this game looked like. This is exactly how I remember it too. I mean, there's just this little river in the middle of the map, and then you kind of can jump up on here and go over to some of your friends' bases. But back then you also couldn't like help your friends. Like there wasn't a way to, you know, add the friends to the list and allow them to edit your base and whatever. So you had to do it completely by yourself, and it's just so cool seeing this again and being able to play this. But let's look at the UI. If we go to the shop, the shop obviously looks so much different. There's so few items on here too. But like these were the original Miner's Haven items. So like any of these items that, you know, people are like, yeah, those aren't really that great. These are some of the original items. I remember using the cell incinerator a lot actually. Because it was pretty good back then. It was actually decent for, you know, how cheap it was. Oh yeah. And then here's our inventory. It looks so much different. You just have your rebirth here. It cost 100 Q back then is what it was called. 100 Q or 100 quintillion to do your first rebirth. Which now, as a lot of you guys know, it's 25 QN for your first rebirth. So this is 4 times the amount that they charge now. And it also says Q instead of QN, which is kind of funny. But yeah, it says, be reborn, sacrifice everything and start over again, stronger than ever. Destroy your base and wipe your inventory, keep your premium, reborn, and vintage tier items. Obtain a random, all-powerful reborn tier item. I remember back in the day, when I got the Frozen Justice as my first, I'm like, oh, this is really good, this is crazy. And now it's like the Frozen Justice, like, it really isn't that great. Let's go ahead and place my furnace here and let's start making some money. And I'm already at 1.4k, so let's try to buy some better items here. Let's do like, let's see. I'll go for this silver mine. Sure, that works. place this down. The placing is just so much different too. Like, it's the same general concept, of course, but like, you know, it just looks different and feels different, obviously. I kind of like the more snappy feel to this too, though. And this is kind of nice. Something that I will say about older Miners Haven, though, is this does feel really like a Tycoon. This does feel exactly for the vibe that Brezza wanted to go for. I remember watching Brezza's Twitch streams, you know, back when this game first came out, and he was like, my entire vision for Miners Haven was to take his previous game, Two-Player Gun Factory Tycoon, and turn it into something that you could create by yourself rather than just pressing buttons and it's the same every single time. You can actually do it yourself, and this game really feels like a Tycoon. And that's what I love about it so much, is that it's so basic. There's tons of mines. They all do different amounts of money. There's some upgraders. They all, you know, upgrade different amounts, whether it's a money upgrade or a multiplier upgrade. You know, it's so simplistic, and that's what I really loved about Miners Haven back in the day, is it just made a lot of sense, and you didn't have to do crazy amounts of research to figure out like what is the weird quirky thing about this upgrader. Oh, there's a random chance that it's going to fling your ores into outer space and upgrade it times 17. If it gets caught by a unicorn, then it'll upgrade it by times 14. But if like a ghost catches it instead, it'll like destroy the ore, or like, you know what I mean? It's like there's all these weird crazy things about Miners Haven items now that makes it not feel like Miners Haven to me anymore. I still love the game. Like, don't get me wrong, Miners Haven's a great game. There's just so much content where obviously the original is just like very nostalgic for me. And it just feels like a really genuine Roblox 2015 Tycoon that, you know, it lets you kind of build whatever you want to build. Where now with Miners Haven, I feel like it's a lot of racing to get the most lives and, you know, sacrifice and, you know, get to third sacrifice when that comes out. And the community just is a little bit more focused on that rather than really having fun and creating, you know, these cool bases with different items. Also, there weren't even like ore trackers back then, and it also didn't tell you like how much money you're getting from each of these ores. So like it was very, very hard to test like how much more does one of these do than another. I mean, yes, you can look on here and it'll say like this does, the ore worth is $3 per ore and whatever, and this is whatever. I like this a whole lot more than the current system we have in Miners Haven. Okay, so I'm up to 4.7k, so let's go ahead and buy the ore purifier. This will add another $9. It's just crazy looking at this and like, wow, it's only $9. Because, you know, now like, not like adding $9 to what you're, you know, what you're putting in here is like nothing. That's like absolutely nothing. Now you can get like literally octillions within 4 seconds after your rebirth, or more even. You know, right now I'm barely getting any money. And, you know, even if I were to get some of the, you know, the better machines, like we have Schrodinger's in here and such, but like still. Like if you check the wiki now, it says the Freon Blast upgrader has all this different stuff. If it's less than 500 million, it'll do this multiplier. If it's at least this, you know, whatever, it will do this multiplier, you know, whatever. So it's like this is between, it still upgrades ores if that are up to 125 billion. But it has these like little quirks to it where the higher the money it gets, the less the multiplier is. Where it's like if you check this on the shop here, all it does is adds 45% of the ore value up to 500 million, which is crazy because now it goes up to 125 billion. Is that what it said? Yeah, 125 billion. And this was just 45% up to, you know, 500 million, whatever. And like cursed ore purifiers, these were like super good for the longer setups where you'd have cursed ore purifiers and then Freons and then Schrodinger's and then all your upgraders and all that. And this is just 40,000. Adds 40,000 each time it goes through. Now that I'm up to 7.6k, I'm gonna go ahead and buy our first cell furnace here. Pretty good. And we'll just put, you know, a normal basic iron mine here. So yeah, the cell furnace says the ores are processed at times 20 of their actual value. I also want to point out that actual is spelled wrong on here. Like a little fun fact about original Miners Haven, the amount of spelling errors that are in here is actually kind of crazy. It's pretty funny. And also to look back at it, Breza was, I think, around my age, I believe. Actually, maybe a little bit younger when he, and I'm 17, you know, when he first made this game. Another thing is back then they weren't called droppers, they were just called mines. Now everyone's like, oh yeah, they're called droppers. But no, like everything was just called a mine back then. I mean, I guess other than that, but like everyone called them mines, not droppers. And of course there were UC items back then, but there weren't really that many. Like here's the industrial rainbow mine. I can buy one of those. But like, there's the pirate's loot collector. But like, there were not very many items back then in the UC shop either. Now we're up in the billions. Hey, there you go. So you can actually see how it can change really quick just by adding some UC items. Even back, you know, then when Miners Haven first came out, just spending a little bit of money, a little bit of Robux, could get you a long way. So we're already up to billions here. So anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed, you know, me going back into 2015 Miners Haven. If you guys want to check out this game, of course, I will have the link in the video description. If you guys want to check this out, you can check out any of the updates. Also, if there's any of the specific things in former Miners Haven updates that you guys want me to talk about, of course, comment them down below. I can kind of give you guys some of my opinions or ideas or just knowledge about former Miners Haven in other videos, or just also if you have any specific questions, just, of course, comment them down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. See you guys later.